AITA for refusing to help a friend who didn't invite me to their wedding. For about 11 years now, I've, 37M, been pretty close with, let's call him, John, 38M. We met at a job in regular company up until the pandemic, where our hanging out, including a circle of mutual friends, has taken a decline but isn't extinct. John and his partner, let's call her Jane, 36F, have been together for about 8 years now, engaged for a little under 2 years, both with a child from previous relationships. So they have taken trips with their kids near yearly, and I've been happy to help visit John's, now their home, and check on things, take care of their animals, etc. while they're gone. I've helped them out with other projects, tasks over the years, and most recently picked up Jane from the airport, returning from a work trip, and got her home this past winter during a snowstorm because my vehicle could handle it. Generally, I've been present and helpful on top of our base friendship. About 5 weeks ago, I find out from a mutual friend their wedding is coming up, and invites went out a while ago, everyone in our circle but me invited. As a gay guy, I've experienced being iced out of some of my straight friends' lives and events in ways minor and pronounced, but this one has definitely been something that has had me thinking about my time and energy with people. I decided I would take the hint and begin to distance myself. 3 days ago, John texts me asking if I'm around in early to mid-August. I say I am. John asks if I wouldn't mind visiting like I have before to look after the animals and property. I said, sorry, I can't. He calls to talk about it. We run through the same conversation, polite but a bit tense. So I finally say, I just won't be visiting your home. After a moment of silence, I bring up that I'm disappointed that I appear to be the only person in our group of friends not invited to his wedding, and that I can't be helping like I have before, if I'm just a background friend at this point. I wrap up the call positively and sincerely, with me wishing them a good wedding and trip, and that maybe we can grab drinks soon. Jane reaches out 2 days ago, sending follow-up texts saying John is upset about what I said, and with her because she made the final calls about friend invites, and that I am taking this the wrong way. There is only so much capacity, and that the others in our friend group have partners that took up space. She adds that she hopes I'll change my mind and help out them out because it would put John's mind at ease. Heck, I'm not entitled to the company of others or invitations to anybody's events. But am I wrong for setting my own boundaries in response to theirs? I try not to frame my friendships as transactional, but they obviously want something out of me here, despite their not inviting me, and then avoiding even bringing it up with me until they needed help with covering their honeymoon. Verdict: not the asshole. Relevant comments. Hand-knit mittens. NTA. This sounds like a really one-sided friendship, and that they are taking your friendship for granted. Why would you keep putting time and energy into them? OP, like I said, we've been pretty close up until now, and I've happened to have the availability when they need it often enough, where we've been close enough before that I didn't mind or feel taken advantage of. John's helped me as well in the past, and try not to hold other people's lives and familial commitments against them, but I was trying to paint a concise picture given the character limit of being, I thought, close. This situation, like I said, definitely changed my perspective given the other friends invited, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't making their wedding about me. They approached me after excluding me. So far, people seem to agree, which I'm relieved about. Peony Pony NTA. Jane reaches out 2 days ago, sending follow-up texts saying John is upset about what I said, and with her because she made the final calls about friend invites, and that I am taking this the wrong way. There is only so much capacity, and that the others in our friend group have partners that took up space. What a bogus excuse. If your friends need someone to check up on their animals and property when they are on their honeymoon, after a wedding you weren't invited to, they can ask another friend or family member. The audacity of some people astounds me. I am a believer in putting the same energy into a friendship as you experience. OP, I don't pretend to be super savvy about wedding etiquette, and I realize every wedding is different and lines have to be drawn about who can come or not. But yeah, my mutual friend reaching out to me to coordinate plans for our friend group during the weekend of the wedding to find out I wasn't invited definitely stung and felt awkward, and my friend was in disbelief as well. Chivalox, NTA, not even a little bit. And then to ask for help like it's no big deal. SMH, what did your friend group have to say about it? OP, definitely some surprise. The only reason I found out was because one of them, who lives a bit further away, reached out initially trying to coordinate some plans/get-togethers around the weekend of the wedding, assuming I'd been invited since me and John were close. I've let him follow up with the others as I didn't want to interject so close to the wedding and make it about me. PM underscore, me underscore, underscore, UR underscore, underscore. Fantasies. I think you've got some awkward times coming up. Please remember during them that this isn't your fault. Despite what Jane said, you might still not know exactly what happened with you being on the guest list. John may be learning or realizing some big things right now. Your friends may be considering some things, and you may be blamed for the results of this situation. Again, please remember that none of that is your fault. By your account, you've been incredibly gracious. By the way, I don't think I saw you mention it anywhere. What was John's reaction when you brought up the lack of wedding invite? I had to revise the original post and trim a lot of smaller details to get it to the character limit and capture the situation concisely. John didn't say much. There was some silence after I cut through his line of questioning with the fact that I won't visit his home at all. I said my piece about not being able to help if I'm not invited with our other friends, and out of awkwardness, pivoted to the gracious wrap-up. Hope the wedding and trip are good. Let's grab drinks soon. There was a pause and sort of collecting himself, something like, thanks man, yeah, let's do that, before I decided to hang up. Hard to peg down, but I picked up on some regret in his tone. Update, July 14th, 2024, 2 days later. I previously posted about being passed over for invitation to a wedding, while being asked to perform a favor for the couple who did not invite me. Yesterday afternoon, a few days after John made the initiating contact that led to this altercation, he reached out by text telling me the following. I want to take you up on that drink tomorrow if possible, and I want to apologize for my royal fuck-ups in person. I agreed to meet. After we kicked off with a round of shots, John's first line was that he failed me as a friend in this situation. With non-family invites, Jane apparently seemed very preoccupied with the philosophy of couples over single at the wedding. And he had previously voiced that he felt it was exclusionary and silly, but I guess Jane prioritized couples on the first round of friend invites, and told John that it will be easier to fit in others after receiving RSVPs. John backed out and says he felt that going along with her initial plan of inviting the rest of our circle, who are, God bless them, coupled up, and not me, and had faith the RSVP thing would materialize. She ended up using the bit of space to plug in some more family. John admitted he basically folded and felt ashamed enough that he could not find a way to tell me. He knew reaching out to me about that favor was a risk, but took it anyways because he wanted someone he could trust. And my response was a materialization of everything he feared would happen. And in his words, deservedly so. He told me a wedding should be a gathering of your family and company who have been a part of your lives and who you want to be part of your lives. And I fit that bill to him by any measure. He, trying to accurately paraphrase, said I've done more than most of the people on the guest list for him and his family over their relationship, including help making memories with trip coverages and helping build their back deck with him to share meals and host events over the last 6 years. He got visibly upset when he said, with the shot and the drinks we were sipping on kicking in, that he can't believe Jane even considered holding my single dating status against me after I got her home safely during a snowstorm earlier this year, and that he did not more adamantly confront that bullshit reasoning the instant she voiced it. He is even more pissed for Jane reaching out to me in the manner she did after my original phone call with him. John acknowledged it would come off as hollow at this point, but after a few exchanges with Jane, said there would be no more nonsense and I would at least get a proper invite, N+1 if I wanted, and they would make it work if it was even desired by me at this point. He said he is not going to try to do panicked damage control, but will be upfront with our circle. One has already dropped the wedding, and I guess another couple has said something else by his reporting. Like he was with me for his faults, because he and Jane deserve the blowback and he needs to earn trust back, if it's at all possible. He has also made it Jane's problem to find a friend who can come out 9 days in a row to care for the home and pets. With a smirk, he said she's having a hard time securing it and may likely have to hire help. I told John I really appreciated his owning up to this, and it was good to see the friend I had shined through here. I told him that I have always appreciated him and Jane's friendship, so it hurt when I was excluded and not even addressed. I felt that close enough anyways, and I obviously don't mean to complicate his wedding. I've always thought him and Jane were great for each other. Earnestly. I have supported them as best as I can, and I've been confused about what I have done or haven't done to be iced out. I also admitted it's hard to trust Jane again if she has been weighing the validity of my presence based on my relationship status, and added with some humor, "It's not like I haven't been trying and you guys haven't met some of my previous long-term partners." He said he doesn't get it either, and she has at least one good friend who is single that she may have burned a bridge with as well over the wedding philosophy she had. I said the friendship is going to be changed and informed by this, at least very different for a while, and I know that you and Jane had a disagreement leading to this, but that I hope that the wedding goes on to be a good celebration. I informed him it feels best to take a pass on the invitation, but he said if there was a change of mind up to the last minute, to let him know, which was kind, and he wasn't desperate and pushy about it. John said the fault is his for not stepping up on my behalf, that he is sorry, and while he feels I wouldn't expect otherwise, and I agree, he is very lucky to have her in his life and thinks their marriage is a positive development for them. He even told her this whole situation will have him questioning and second-guessing her judgment on social matters with his friends for the foreseeable future. By his reporting, but a credit to their relationship, this was quite a blow to her to hear from him, but one she accepted and apologized for after their arguments about the subject. Before we parted ways in the parking lot, we gave each other a bro hug, and John's voice broke a bit when he said he is sorry one last time, and I think mine did too when I forgave him. It was legitimately surprising and therapeutic to have John be so frank and accountable, but not unlike the friend I've known for most of my adult life. It was bittersweet, being all things considered a makeup, but also a breakup of sorts to what was previously an unquestioned and assumed strong trust and camaraderie. Maybe we can get there again. It seems possible, and it'd be nice. I'm sitting here after weeks of big feelings, stewing on a different shade of big boy feelings now. Thanks for processing with me, Reddit. Additional information from OOP. A lot of people had good things on the range of the spectrum to share with me, and I've done my best to respond to people without getting too consumed and doing other things that need to be done. I was happy for John to talk with me. Maybe commenters are right, and they see me as something else than I thought we were as friends. And maybe I've got some work to do to assert myself, and that I have been a doormat up to this point. I know I've got some soul searching to do about me as a person and how I see myself with John and Jane, and maybe my other friendships as well. This relationship felt a lot closer and authentic in a different time, but it's hard to paint a fuller picture of that after a situation like this. Things change. As tempting as it is to accept the invitation and be there for John, I think I trust my instinct to let this be. And if John meant what he said, and if Jane comes around, they'll make the effort to follow up. I will be putting some distance for a while, and time will tell. I'm glad we got a chance to talk because if it is the end, I feel good about giving him a chance to own it. And as I've gotten older, I appreciate the hard work of taking on uncomfortable stuff. I made some plans for that weekend with a couple other friends, which I'm looking forward to. I find repeated updates on an initial post a bit messy and tacky. So if anyone wants my thoughts on particulars, just click my profile and look at my comments, responses. Thanks for words and insights, Reddit. Relevant comments. Competitive _ key _ 2,981. OP, how could a woman so terribly irrational and selfish be good for John? I mean, I couldn't have listened to her logic about the guest list for 5 minutes, and John's sucking it up like it's nectar of the gods. OP, I haven't seen this side of her before, and I believe John is a bit shocked by it. I can't know for certain if this is really her personality outside of my view, though. I said in another response, but I believe that there are many parts of one's life that anyone, a friend or partner, can be of great benefit to you, and then test your understanding with a wrong call. Those wrong calls are varied in severity and scope, and I don't pretend to be a sage relationship expert, but she helped him tremendously in the past 8 years. I've witnessed her kindness and the strength of the family they've forged, and how much effort she's put into it. I am very surprised and hurt by the left turn she has taken in her wedding planning. I am giving her the benefit of time to come to her own steady senses to respond as she wishes, but I, with a comet-sized grain of salt, take John's word that his admonishment of her judgment and actions, even if it was very late, meant something to her. I hope she'll find the courage, maybe after this Bridezilla episode, to acknowledge it. Sooner would be better than later. I am practicing some distance for a good while and want to give them space to prove this friendship wasn't a waste of time on my end. And I think a lot of red I still am, with her, and warn me against rolling over for them. I'm doing a lot of reflection and hoping I'm not being taken for a fool in all this. 11 years and a lot of good times, and steady support in my own bumpy journey through adulthood. I hope some readers believe me when I have seen these two as a positive for each other. I've experienced them as a positive for me, even if this has caught me off guard and shown a side that is deeply short-sighted and hurtful. I could be wrong in all of this, but time will tell. New updates. Small update, November 2nd, 2024, 3.5 months later. Hey everyone. While this was obviously more pressing in the time frame I posted, it's been a while since the wedding and I've been naturally busy with other things going on in my own life. Not much to share or update about, so I didn't. While I was hurt about the precipitating combo of requested favor but hidden exclusion, but happy that John at least met with me, I didn't expect any quick, easy fixes, and have resolved to let it be and wait for John Jane to reach out, and that it was even more likely that this friendship was basically over. John reached out a couple of days ago with a text, asking if I would be interested in attending a Friendsgiving party they plan on throwing later this month, insisting that both he and Jane would love to have me. And despite some nervousness revisiting it all out of the blue, I said, "Sure thing." Editor's note. OOP provided a small update after receiving a comment request regarding Friendsgiving. Did OOP attend the Friendsgiving? Update in comments. March 16th, 2025, 4 months from the prior update. Hey, I didn't end up going. I said yes at first, but a few months removed from the incident, and despite my innate desire to somehow make it work, anytime I thought about the situation, I was left feeling upset. As I got closer to the Friendsgiving, it became clear to me that showing up at a holiday gathering like that was going to be awkward and performative in nature, even if their intentions with the invite were good or coming from the right place. So I avoided it. It felt like the right call. I let John know I had something else come up and he voiced some obligatory disappointment, but wished me happy holidays. I haven't received any communication from them since, and I haven't initiated any. It's likely that this may officially be over, but a few busy months in my work and personal life, and some reading thinking on other matters, has cooled me off and given me some slight perspective changes from where I was at. Comments. Commenter 1. Honestly, it's a good thing you didn't go, but the dishonesty was not. Chances are they invited you for them, not for you. I say you should contact John again and just tell him that you are done. He was not a good friend, and it just comes off as if the U-turns were just to make themselves feel better. The biggest giveaway is the obligatory disappointment, meaning it sounded like he wasn't really bothered that you didn't go, not to mention absolutely zero communication from Jane, since she called you demanding you take care of their pets after lying to you by omission. I hope you're able to get over this, L. You don't need friends like that because from your posts he owned up, but it looks like he never really apologized. Tell him you're done with him and get some closure. Commenter 2. It was probably for the best that you didn't go. But that gut punch still stings when you realize that you cared more about others than they cared about you. Hope the new year has been good to you. Commenter 3. I'm happy you were able to revisit this. It struck me as speaking volumes that John passed the majority of the blame onto his wife, when he was the one who asked you to house it knowing you weren't invited to his wedding. And he hasn't done anything to show you he values your friendship beyond you being a dependable person for house sitting and emergencies. You clearly deserve better, and your other friends all agree. You clearly deserve better, and your other friends all agree.